welcome back. I'm back, welcome back. You've not seen this place in a couple of weeks, and yeah, we're back to do things. Back with the channel. Hopefully things are gonna go all good and fine and sweet that way, and we're just gonna see how things go from here. But yes, I'm back. BT Fiber, Wi-Fi, back to do YouTube, back, to stream and whatever. And hopefully things should hopefully go down pretty well. Now, this is the thing. I'm not kind of sure where I want to go from here in terms of the YouTube channel. Now, I obviously know that I still want to do Park Drive because Park Drive's quite a cool thing. Do you know what I mean? It's gonna be good to... Jesus Christ, hi Ash, good news I have. Oh yeah, what's good news? Well, why are you watching a I'm not even going to answer that comment if you can't hear what I'm saying because you're in school. But yeah, I'm not totally sure exactly where I want to go with in terms of the channel, in terms of like some of the things I want to do. Like I know that I still want to do Park Drive because Park Drive's something in a way you can't just give up. Like Park Drive's been going, for 100 and so many episodes. Like that's not something you can't just stop. And I'm not bored of Park Drive. I still enjoy doing that. Or I did, let's say, 2 weeks ago.
Watch out, wait, Ben, I'm gonna flatten it.
But in terms of other things on the channel, such as like network radio and stuff like that, I'm not quite sure where I want to go with things like that. Now, network radio does work well. I have a mic and I'm using my earphones from my phone. Ah, fair enough. So yeah, if you want to join Park Drive, you can join Park Drive. If you want to join Park Drive, you can do. But in terms of network radio, I'm not entirely sure where I want to go as of just yet, because network radio's good. And when you think of the idea, and when you think of like the plans for like network radio, like they are good ideas, but because of YouTube and obviously like their copyright claims and stuff like that, you got to be so careful. Like, for example, like all you got to do is just play just play a copyrighted song for 2 minutes at the most, and they could have you done. Like, then you've got to take that video down. Then it's kind of like saying, well, what's the point in doing the video or doing the stream if you're just gonna have to take it down in the end? If you're just gonna have to get rid of it, if that makes sense. And it kind of makes you think, like, is it worth doing it? Like when you first think of the idea of network radio, like, yeah, good, you can play a bit of music, you can talk about news and weather and things around the world, you can get people to get in touch, we can interview them about maybe various things that they're doing, a nice little podcast show. But you've just got to be so careful for the copyrights. But I think with network radio, as far as I want to go, I think I'm just going to do the Harrison and Noble show, because I think like trying to do like other shows, even if you play like remixed songs, you can still get copyrights, and it's just not worth it. Like when we do the Harrison and Noble show, there's a lot more talking, and there's quite a few like copyrighted, like songs that I know about not to play. I've got recognition, I've been accepted that I'm allowed to play songs from Dprot and stuff like that. And, I can like play a few songs, but I think if we make network radio too big, copyrights could, in the end just end up, screwing our channel over, which is a bad thing to do. However, I have thought of a new NTV show that I'd like to do, and the more I think about this, I'm really excited for it, because I think this could potentially work quite good. Now, you guys know that we do Park Drive, obviously, and sometimes Park Drive can go can go wrong, but it can go wrong in a funny way, which will make us all giggle. For example,
Oh, you lost connection to the game.
For example, like, you can go ahead and, you know, like, say there was a scene in Part Drive where I banged my head in real, and, you know, everyone had a giggle about it, and some people still have a giggle about it today. And I've kind of thought of an idea for a new show, which is kind of going to be a comedy show. Now, the more I think about this works quite well. Now, I'm not quite sure if this show's going to go ahead, because I need to get, you know, approval off other people, like, if they'd be willing to do the show with me. Now, I'm pretty sure you guys have all heard of Mrs. Brown's Boys, which is a comedy show, which, you know, they show on BBC, and it's about, you know, it's about a family. And obviously, like, they go around and they make up like funny episodes, and, you know, they tell a little story, but it's kind of like funny and giggly. They tell a few jokes now and again. And I've kind of been thinking of a show called The Derek and Noreen Show, which is based very similar to Mrs. Brown's Boys, but in its own twist. So you've got Noreen, who would kind of be like the Mrs. Brown, if you like, so she'd like be the main attraction of the show, the person who would kind of like run the show, if that makes sense. Then you'd have Derek, which would be kind of like the granddad in Mrs. Brown's Boys, but he would go ahead and, you know, like Noreen in the Derek and Noreen Show wouldn't be like always wanting Grandad to die, like in the real Mrs. Brown. It'd be kind of based, like, the idea would be based from Mrs. Brown, but the kind of like jokes and the episode ideas and, you know, whatever we decide to go on would be our completely own ideas. Here's a new channel idea if you're going to make a new account. The channel name idea, NTV Extra. Yeah, I'm not going to make a new account. I'm talking of a new series for this channel. So then you'd have Martin, who would be, so like, in other words, like in this comedy show, like everybody who is in Part Drive, like out of Derek and Noreen, Martin, Billy, they'd be related. They'd still be the same. So like Derek and Noreen would be married, Martin would still be Noreen's son, Billy would still be Noreen's grandson. But the show would be focused more around that family. So instead of having like the Part Drive vicar and stuff like that, and it would kind of be based similarly more around like a house. So, you know, like when you go to, say, like you go to a theatre and you watch a play, and they set up like little scenes on the stage. And then like one scene will then like change to like the kitchen, and then it'll be like a little kitchen thing, little like kitchen setup with a table, and then you'd kind of have like another square which would be like the front room, and then you'd kind of have an upstairs, but the upstairs would just lead to the, you know, to like off the stage, if that makes sense. Like the upstairs doesn't actually go somewhere, and then when there is an upstairs, you just make another like square room and pretend it's upstairs, but you don't actually go up the stairs. So like, say if Noreen's going upstairs, you don't actually show her upstairs. So like the scene had changed to her being upstairs. Like in the scene, she wouldn't walk from the kitchen upstairs. It'd change, if you get what I mean. And it would kind of be based around, you know, just like little funny daft stuff that comes up with our ideas. Then we would still have a few different characters who could come into the show. Like, for example, we could have people like the vicar. We could have people like Michael playing as his police officer and stuff like that, but instead of having like people like Sean and people like them, you would kind of like, you wouldn't have them, if that makes sense. So like, you could kind of like, say like Ben, who plays like someone in Part Drive, he could play someone different in the Derek and Noreen Show. So he could be like a bartender or something who like plays in the pub in the show, and then like maybe occasionally maybe occasionally he would maybe come to Noreen's house like in a scene or something, like as someone, say, completely different to who he plays. Yeah.
I got a bit of a situation, okay?
Go on.
The other day, I was going downstairs with my controller in my hands, and I had a drink on it, like in my hands, and my controller slipped out my hand and fell all the way down the stairs. Do you want to hear what noise it's making now?
I think I've heard it. Oh, is it broke?
Yeah, it's all jiggling about inside. I don't know.
Ooh, you might want to get a new.
Things.
Yeah, you might want to get a new one at some point, like.
Yeah,
you know?
I sent my mum away until it blows up in my hands.
You know, but yeah, so I think this would be good. My mate is making a cartoon and he wants to take place in a country. He wants Los Ashley's new town and NTV in it. You can use it by all means. You can go ahead and use it as long as like you get the facts right, if that makes sense. Like if you get the facts right, I'm happy for you guys to use it, but. Like what I'm saying is like if it's gonna be based in the country, like it's gotta be like it's gotta kind of base like it's gotta be realistic, if that makes sense. Like it's gotta be kind of how I have it set up. So for example, like Los Ashley's on our country map is actually down south. So like when you're doing your cartoon, like it's actually got to still be down south. Like you can't say in the cartoon like like, oh, I'm gonna go up north to Los Ashley's, because Los Ashley's is obviously down south, if that makes sense, and stuff like that. And like if you visit in Los Ashley's, you've got to kind of like mention stuff that actually is in Los Ashley's, like street names and stuff like that. So if there's anything that your friend wants to know about Los Ashley's, you can just go ahead and ask me. And obviously, like in the cartoon, like I don't know how the cartoon's getting made, but however, like if you like mention me in the credits for like the Los Ashley's owner, then like people know that it's my map. And also if there's like some way of a mention that you can see the Los Ashley's map on my channel, then like people can go ahead and check it out, and we're all good that way, if you get what I mean. And then there isn't any like, do you know what I mean, then like people are thinking like, oh, cool city you made for your cartoon, like when technically, me and tons of other people have all gone ahead and built this map, if you get what I mean. Oh, jeez, it's very laggy over here. This map's like so laggy just over there, like just in places, even a bit here. It's just, God, forget that. It's so bad here. This map's really laggy. Like that's just part of this map being like huge. It just gets so laggy now. But going back to this Derek and Noreen show idea, I think it'd be quite a good idea, and I think it could work pretty well. The only thing is I just need to like get people like would Derek actually want to do? Would Ant want to do this and play Derek in this show? Would Martin want to do this and play Martin? If you get what I mean. And it's not going to be a thing that goes on like Park Drive. Is your city going to be toured by Player One again? I've got no clue. Though I could not tell you. I've not spoken to Player One in nearly possibly a year. Like, me and Player One haven't spoken for ages, and that's not because we fell out or anything. No. It's just he got doing his stuff, I got doing my stuff, and pretty much, I don't even know, like, I think because he has an Xbox as well, so I don't know if he's like more on Xbox now. But I haven't seen or heard anything from Player One in ages, and my YouTube channel also got banned, that I had at the time when he toured that. So I might not have, I might not have gone ahead and subscribed to him again on this new one, because it's like it's remembering like who's who, like who I had like sub to. By lol. So yeah, so going back to this Derek and Noreen show idea, It all depends if like Martin wants to play Martin, hello sir, and if like Derek wants to play Derek on this like new show. It's not gonna run like Part Drive. What the sort of original idea is, my idea is to make one episode, put it up, see how the episode goes, and see like when we're actually recording it and making it, see how it goes that way. But then if we do decide to carry it on, it'll be like a season episode. So there'll be like 7 episodes in a season, and each episode will be based on something different, like something funny, which kind of tells a story. And it'll, like there'll be 7 episodes in a season, and then it'll stop again for a while, and then it'll like maybe start again, maybe in a couple of months' time. I'll say, look, do you want to do another season? And then we'll do like, we'll do different things, and we'll just make like little funny ideas of like, like drastic stuff happening around the house, for example.
Is that what me and you did with Ethan on GTA?
No, it'll just be like, just be a bit of fun, we can tell some jokes. So rather like, I haven't seen it yet, I need to watch it. So like, instead of things like being serious, like, like people getting illnesses and, like house fires, like what Part Drive does, it's a little bit more like funny and tells a joke, and maybe even sometimes a little bit ridiculous, just to kind of create the... Do you know what I mean? Like, just to create the sort of general, like, feel of the funny to it. Like, I don't know, like, Noreen can just be, like, running around the kitchen screaming, for example, but do it in a funny way, if that makes sense. And I've already kind of got a good idea for, like, one episode, like, the episode that I want to start with. But I don't want to reveal any more, like, if this goes ahead. But I've already been thinking about this, like, quite hard. So I've got like an idea for how I'd start this show, and then like I say, I just really need to get like, like will Derek play Derek in this? Will Derek just make a few episodes with me? Will Martin make a few episodes with me with Billy? And then we'll just get some other people in. And thinking of Mrs. Brown, you get Buster, who's like the dumb and stupid one. And this is by no means no offences, but I think we could find the perfect place for Amir to play that person who could kind of be like the stupid and ridiculous one. Like, I have a great idea, but then just as a absolutely stupid idea, and then he could possibly be like Martin's, like dumb friend, kind of like Dermot and Buster in Mrs. Brown. Yeah, Buster is funny. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think it'd be quite good. I think it could potentially work. And we can just try and like make some like cool stuff out of it, and we can do some like cool transitions into like next scenes. And do you know what I mean? Like, I think it could work quite well if we actually like consider our ideas and actually like, rather than just like say we're gonna make a show and then make it, like if we actually think this through and actually like, come up with a good solid idea and get people say so to actually do it, I think we could end up doing something possibly quite well with this. So I think, potentially this could be a pretty good idea if it goes ahead. And, I want it to go ahead because I think it would be cool. But do you know how to build interiors in small houses? Yeah, I do. I do know how to do that. But it kind of depends how small you're talking, because Minecraft obviously has a scale for things. So like, do you know what I mean? Like, if you want to fit like everything in, you can't have a really small house. I have plenty, but I haven't finished them. It depends kind of how big, like attached houses. Depends how big, really. Like, let me go off this map and go on to an older version of this map to show you something. Because we used to have some old houses in Park Drive that were really, really small, to the point where you could hardly fit anything in them. But we have a glitched save of Park Drive, where two saves copied together, and if I remember right, it will still have the small houses in them. So yeah, look, you see how there's like nothing here, look. This is where it glitched, but where there's like half a building's missing, where there's like nothing. Half the river's gone, look. Hi, Fred H. You see how kind of like a massive chunk's just disappeared? Like,
what's this supposed to be? Is it, are we just beyond this?
Like, you know? And then you can see here where like half of a building's gone. But then it's got like some new features and some old features to the map. Not. So, there should be some small houses in this map. But
I don't like this map.
it's like, it's a weird glitched save. So we'll go over to, because Park Drive's really old in this map. Like, Park Drive, like, has got things in here that aren't even there anymore, if you get what I mean. Like there isn't even a cafe in here. There's no such thing as the cafe that Park Drive has. It's still Noreen's house fire, which was filmed on episode 16. And it's when it was like a copied save like halfway through the fire, because I copied the save originally just in case anything went wrong when we filmed the house fire episode, because I didn't want to like blow up half the map or something, because we made the house explode obviously. And hi, welcome, and let's go ahead. I'll take you down. See, look, there's even a house here. Look, this house hasn't been here since episode 100, and this is from the Christmas 2016, because this is when Jamie lived here in Park Drive and he put his Christmas tree outside. KSI beat you. Yeah, here we are. Look, Mini House Road, small houses. Look, see. But do you see how like teeny they are? Like, and the sofa like takes up the whole house. See?
Wow,
The sofa
really
takes up the, like, that's how small it is. So it really depends on your size. If I'm honest with you, we did actually interior this house like, you know, like a good while after it was like this, because we made one of the characters in Park Drive live here. But the point is, you know, there's not, the point is, the whole like big point of it is that's, you know, like if your house is bigger than, like if your house is this size, like it's gonna be hard to interior it. But if it's a bit bigger, then I might be able to do something. Was this the starter PD? Kind of. This was like, this save here was round about episode 17, 16. So like, there's a few things here like, why don't you see? Like look, you see the graveyard? Like the graveyard's so small. The only person here is Shirley Woods, because she's like the only person who had died in Park Drive like at this time. And someone was building a house here who never finished it. So in the end I just took it down and made a bigger graveyard. And you can see that there's a house which got started here, which no one didn't finish. And there's also something here. Oh yeah, Tom Coombs' house. That are unfinished. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, this is a very, very old map, but then it's got some features on this map that are actually like quite new, if you get what I mean. So it kind of combined the two, because there's these houses here, which, you know, very weird. Like, this is Noreen's house right now, like on the other map, but look how different it is. Like, this was the original idea of this map. Here's Bill Woods' house, again, with nothing done, no interiors, but some, like, random thing up here. It looks a lot better now, I'll tell you. This is the memories. It is for me, because I've seen the whole of Park Drive, like, obviously transform. Look, it is the old bake, look. These aren't here anymore. These haven't been here for quite a while now. This is the PD memories. It is for me, definitely. There's even a little house here with a fire truck in the garden, look. This is that Des bar now. Like, Jesus. Here's the mansion. And this is before the mansion even had an interior. Because Paul actually lived in a different house before he bought the mansion. But I think someone had possibly just started to do a few, like, interiors. And I say that lightly, like, just put a few, like, interior lights in and stuff, but nothing too, you know. We've got a little, this was, you know, like,
Right, Ash, I'm gonna get going.
Alright, I'll catch you in a bit. When's episode 135? Either today or tomorrow. I haven't decided whether I want to do one yet today. I think today might be a bit soon, when I've just got back online, but we're gonna have to see, like, who still wants to do Park Drive, and, like, who gets online, like, because I've been off for 2 weeks, obviously, but at the same time, I don't expect everybody to sit there twiddling their thumbs waiting for me to get Wi-Fi back. Like, they could have, for example, like, I don't know, like, had, like, more homework at school, or had somewhere they have to go now on a Tuesday, which could affect a Park Drive day. Like, I've not been on, so I don't know. Martin does a lot of after-school clubs from time to time. He might have started doing after-school clubs. Do you know what I mean? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it all depends, really. It all depends exactly what goes down. I tell you what, this brings back memories. Paul's house. This. I'm not gonna lie, like, I preferred Paul's character when he lived here. When he got to the mansion, I think things went a little downhill for his character, personally. Like, it was alright, but when he had his little house and he used to sing in his kitchen, which is what we made his character do, that they were the Park Drive days, like. And then, like, when he had his van in the garden, look. And it's still his old van as well, because he did get a new van after that. But look, he's got his little office. This map here, this map here is before Sean was in Park Drive. You know, the Scouser voice, mate? Like, before he was even in Park Drive, this save is from. So, literally, the characters in it at this point were very, like, there was no Derek. There was no Derek, there was no Bill Woods, you know, like, literally the only characters we had in Park Drive at the time was Martin, Billy, Lisa, Noreen, Jamie, which was Shadow's wife, the vicar, and that was primarily about it. We had another dude as well who lived here, who was called, I think it was called Mark, and he, you know, he was in it for a good while, but he was here then, but he hadn't been in it that long. He only, like, had been, you know, this had only been like 5 or 6 episodes for him since joining, I think. I think he joined possibly the day that Shirley died. I can't remember. I remember filming the episode because I remember like when I was editing it, I put some like really funky like house music song on and like just like wiggled around this house as there was like a car here that he was moving in. And then I think it like, I don't know, I think it went to like something. Jesus, I can't even remember. It could have even been, I can't remember when he joined. But we're here. We're here right now. Right here, right now. And this was a copied save. Could I join? You can join Part Drive. I've got no problem with you joining Part Drive. There is something that I want to speak to you about, though, about joining Part Drive. I was wondering about my houses. I've changed it a bit. Yeah, there's something I want to speak to you about when joining Part Drive, though, because I've kind of had an idea. I'll say it on the stream because it's nothing like too sort of, let's say, giving any spoilers away. But we had a person who joined Part Drive his real name was Ethan, and he played someone called Jacob Wiggy, and pretty much like he was a little bit of a cunt. Let's just say it that way. Like, for example, like he used to grief the world and stuff like that when we weren't looking, and then like made out like it wasn't him, and then he'd get in the way and ruin scenes. But when it came down to it, and when he did scenes in Part Drive, he was a good actor. He was a good character. And like I say, he played someone called Jacob Wiggy, and pretty much I recently gave him a second chance, like round just after Christmas time, to come back and have another go. He apologised to me. Stuff like that, and he didn't change. He was still trying to grief the world and stuff like that. So I pretty much said, that's it, I want you out of Part Drive. However, I had good plans for the character. I had good plans for Jacob Wiggy. He was the person who owned this house, which is burnt down, by the way. And my general idea is I wanted to bring that character back, because I think that character has unfinished business with Part Drive. He obviously trapped someone in the cellar, which isn't here at this point on this save, but I wanted to bring that character back and, come back and, face his problems. But I was thinking about getting a different person to voice that character, to voice that skin. So what I was going to ask you, if you join Part Drive, would you be willing to play that character? If that makes sense, if you get what I mean, would you be willing to play that character and kind of be the new actor for that character? They're sometimes doing real shows, say if a character takes a break for so long, or say for example with Robert Sugden in Emmerdale. I don't know if you guys watch it, but Robert Sugden originally left the show in 2005 or something like that, and then made an appearance in 2009, and pretty much he came back in 2014, but it was a different actor, so it was a different person what plays the Robert Sugden. So I'm kind of thinking of getting a new voiceover for a new person to do it. The skin pack, I believe, is the story mode skin pack, but it's a free skin. Look, I don't have the story mode. You can see that it's locked. Where we were lost without you. So it's a free skin pack, and it's just pretty much this one. It's a free skin pack, and that's pretty much all it is. So it's just pretty much your voice instead of his voice, but we'll just have a new cast, a new person, who who would be here. And then I guess in a way what skin pack? It's the story mode skin pack, Steve Kid. I can play with him. Yeah, so all you've got to do is just, if anything, like, I don't know how good your part drive skills are, how good your knowledge is with, like, the past, but all you've got to really do is just look at, like, episodes with, you know, like, where Ethan was in it, and you've just got to kind of, you know, like, pick up from, like, you know, what Ethan did as Jacob, if that makes sense. Like, he was a little bit of a person who, you know, could be a bit nasty to people, like, when other people aren't around. Like, for example, like, a while ago, he got, like, violent with Sean, like, a bit threatening type thing, so, yeah, you can practice, but it's just, you know, taking the name Jacob Wiggy, and then what I had planned with Jacob originally, like, I'll still plan it with him, like, you know, like, future plans for his character, and then you can do it, which will be, you know, which should be quite good, in that sense. Guess who's back? Noble's back again, Noble's back, tell a friend. Guess who's back again, Noble's back, tell a friend. Why not? Well, I'll tell you guys that I've not been lost without internet. Like, some days have been a bit crap, I'll admit that. Some days have. But it's not been that bad, alternatively. It could have been a lot worse. I've found new programs to watch. I've found, like, going round and seeing other family members. I've gone, like, just, you know, like, to our local Witherspoons, just had, like, a pint of Coke, and just, you know, had a talk to whoever's in there. You know, I've done, you know, I've been quite alright, really. Like, it's been a bit boring sometimes, like, because there isn't good shows on TV every day, and stuff like that, which is quite, you know, it can be, like, quite annoying, but, it's not been that bad, to be honest with you. And I just need to also update you guys that there might also be another period of time where I don't come online again for a few days. It shouldn't be as long as 2 weeks, but I can't promise anything, and I might be able to set my PlayStation up in another room, like, when it comes to this. It's not to do with losing internet or anything like that. It's just literally decorating my bedroom. So does my character get a new house? Possibly. Maybe. Or we might just have him, like, pay to repair the house that he lived in, if that makes sense. We'll think of something. We'll think of something, like, whether we decide to make anything, you know, stuff like that happen. You know, we'll plan it as we come. I'm not really sure. I only, like, know as of right now that I want that character to return. So it would be, like, do you know what I mean? It would be partially, like, good. Like, you know, we'll have to plan something for him in terms of what he'll do. But it should be alright. It should be good, personally. So yeah, there will be a period of time where because I'm going to be decorating my room, so I might not exactly be able to get on as, like, this room's, like, having a full makeover. It's not, you know, like, the ceiling's getting painted and everything, if you get what I mean. You know, like, the carpet's getting changed, you know, all the walls are getting done. The doors getting painted, like, everything, and it's only a small room, so it's not like I can just plug my telly in on another wall, like, while that's not getting painted type thing. It's kind of like, you know, the telly's up on the wall, but it will come down, and the whole, you know, like, everything's getting a complete redo. The whole bedroom's getting a makeover, along with my shed as well, so you know what I mean? So I'm going to leave this here in a minute because I'm going to be going for food. And with our new internet coming today, now usually an engineer would come and, like, fit the new internet. but no one came. They sent us a text message, which we didn't hear a phone go off, and pretty much we just had to plug the home hub in. So they just turned the internet on the day that it gets turned on, and we had everything to plug in. And pretty much that's as far as it went. We didn't know, so they sat about pretty much all day waiting for someone to come to plug our internet in. And I believed that was going to happen too. You know, someone would come and connect us up, because that's what they usually do. That's what all our other engineers have done. So pretty much, they kind of waited about most of the day. Cleaned, made the house look clean for a person coming a bit more, and he never even came. So technically, I could have had internet on at dinner time. Now, obviously, I wouldn't have been streaming because I was working and stuff like that, but you get my gist and point. Like, I could have had things like plugged in and set up like a lot earlier than I did, because we didn't know that. We didn't know that was obviously going to be the case. We didn't know that, we had to set it up ourselves. I thought it was just literally, I thought that was just literally it, like, do you know what I mean? Okay, gotta practice. Yeah, playing Jacob Wiggy shouldn't be that bad. Like, because a lot of terms of part drive, like, is just like, say, like, if you spoke to Noreen, cool builds, what's it for? It's for our Minecraft role-playing series called Part Drive Drama. You can check it out on our channel. Remember, you can use my world if you want NTV ads. Yep, I will bear that in mind. Yeah, Dylan, it's mainly like, say if you're having a chat with Noreen, like, in a scene, like, Noreen will say hi, and then you've just got to say hi back, and then, like, Noreen will just ask how you've been, and then, like, judging, like, obviously your house has just burnt down, and you have no clue, like, how it burnt down, so you'll be like, yeah, not too good, really, wish me house didn't burn down, kind of thing. But then you've also got to hide the fact that you were keeping somebody hostage in the cellar, so you've got to, like, make out as if you had no idea that he was in the cellar type thing, but really he was. So it's just more or less replying to what the other characters are saying to you, if that makes sense. Or usually, like, before a scene, I explain, like, what you're going to be doing in that scene, if you get what I mean. So I'll say, like, right, in this scene, Jacob Wiggy, as you, Dylan, is going to go in the cafe and he's going to order a cup of tea. So then you'll go in the cafe, order a cup of tea, and then just have a chat with Noreen type thing. Oh, wait, roleplay drama. You want the man, you got me. I'm XD, I'm much drama. If you want to join Part Drive, just add me on PSN.
What's good here, Ash?
2 secs, I'll teleport to you in a minute. Well, I'm going to end the stream because I think my tea will be about ready. But that's my gamer tag if you want to add me, and we can talk further. If you live in the UK and you watch and you've heard of shows like Coronation Street, EastEnders, Emmerdale, it's pretty much like that, but based in this neighbourhood. Different characters play different people, and things go down, if that makes sense. So, okay, got that. My user is right. So if that sends me a friend request, I will add it. Ash, I'm following you, but we are not friends. I sent you a friend request. I will accept that. Or if you want to delete the friend request and resend it, just so I know who's sending me, because to be honest with you, I've possibly had loads of requests, like, since not being online, so, like, remembering, like, who's who, it might just be best if you send me a brand new one. I don't know, we'll have to see how it goes. Hi, Taze Toys Review. What toys you reviewing? Alright, yeah, there we go. Got that friend request. I'll accept that now. Then I know that it's done. And we shall talk later. I'll talk more about Park Drive to you. You know, like when we film episodes and stuff like that. If you want to be, you know, if you do want to be a part of it. So I'm going to leave this stream here. I'm back on the channel. I'm back. I'm good. I'm fresh. And we will, I will, you know, be back with internet. Well, I do some reviews. Alright, well, I'll probably check your channel out. You know, see, to be honest, I'm quite old myself now. Like, not really a kid, but, I do, you know, I do still like toys. You know, I admit, like, I don't buy toys, but I still like looking at them in the shops and stuff like that. So, anyway, like, sub, comment, share, do whatever you want to do. We'll catch you good people later.